Здравствуйте, товарищи, and welcome back to our humble Soviet Republic, nestled deep, seemingly, in the middle of nowhere. Off in the distance, Asherkal has really gone through the ringer for these last handful of sessions, and for these last handful of years, truth be told. But folks, every time, it's come out on top. I am extremely proud of everything we've accomplished over these last handful of sessions, and yes, over these last handful of years. We've had struggle after struggle thrown our way, but we've overcome almost all of them. And I have to say almost, because this remains. But folks, we'll overcome this too. We'll find our way through. As the music turns from extremely sad to kind of sad, and maybe a little cheery, let's go ahead and start making some progress towards just a happier populace. Let's double time it. And as we watch our nation continue to build based on some of the prior orders we've given it, let's go ahead and turn our attention here to make sure that it's also able to unbuild based on some prior orders we've given it too. The demolition over here is not actually going to happen unless vehicles are able to reach, and they're not going to be able to reach unless we actually go ahead and do a bit of a funky solution here, which is reconnect, commission this construction, immediately suspend it because we don't actually want to build this, but instead use it as a way to grant access to this demolition, which is now being handled by the demolition office. Okay, great. Right. The demolition office still picks workers up from the bus platform. That's okay. It only needs a handful at any given time, and it's relatively quick work. I mean, this is just going to take 3 work days, so half a second when this picks up, 10 or however many workers it'll pick up. But we'll keep an eye on this. As soon as this demolition is done, we'll go ahead and cancel this construction, because again, we don't actually want that. At the same time, we'll watch these roads get completed, which will then allow us to demolish this road and, place down our first actual distribution office in this area. So that's going to be exciting. And there's a few other things to take care of at the same time as well, obviously, but just want to keep an eye on this as it gets done in a fraction of a workday, really. Waiting for these garbage trucks now to come through. I love seeing them kick into gear. And you know what, actually? As we're going to be reworking this area, I should also go ahead and continue the construction over here, and continue the construction over here too. 5.7 tons of steel, that's fine. It should be affordable. We should be okay. And again, it's still a ways away. Now, this needs to be canceled, or demolished, so to speak. Clearing up all this room. And again, I'll just double check to be sure, but I'm pretty sure we cannot fit a distribution office in the space that's left. So when we do adjust the road over here, ooh, hello. I'm not gonna be so fiddly about it. We're going to be adjusting this road anyway. We're just gonna nudge it a bit further up and have it go straight across there. We have to be careful though, of course. We want to make sure that the warehouse remains connected. And I'm actually wondering, right now, the warehouse has a decent amount of alcohol, food, clothes, and electronics. So I'm wondering if now is not a good time to upgrade some of these roads. No, it's not, because we'll be demolishing this soon and adjusting it. But basically, down the line, when we eventually do decide to upgrade the roads connecting the warehouse, we'll just have to make sure that the quantities at the warehouse are at a good spot, and that the forklifts are able to do all the movement of goods over here. We also will want to make sure, of course, that the warehouses down here and the meat storage down here have the resources they need as well, so that they're not waiting on some construction up over here for a delivery to happen. While all that's happening, though, let's also go ahead and upgrade this footpath to gravel, I guess, so it blends in. Yeah, let's go with not asphalt, but gravel. Get these guys upgraded, sure, why not? Why not? This is under construction as well. No, we're waiting for this road to be finished. Okay, but it's being worked on. That's all well and good. This has been suspended. I wonder if I shouldn't suspend these bricks, flats. Now, we'll need the additional room soon enough. And what I do need to do, though, is maybe commit some of these people to work down over here and nowhere else. Because right now, we're barely getting a couple of shoppers, or rather, sorry, a couple of sellers, but we're going to have a ton of shoppers come through. And they'll come here and they won't be able to get their goods because there's not enough sellers. I do also need to make sure that food starts arriving at a regular regular intervals. Meat, if I'm not mistaken, is coming from the distribution office, yes, but this distribution office is going to, in the meantime, get rid of this grocery store. No, sorry, this grocery store's fine. Oh, you know what? Right. I didn't ever make this part of the distribution network. I just did a manual delivery. So, go ahead and add this connection. And unload food, electronics, clothes. Up to 30% seems unreasonable given some of those numbers. I wonder if I can't copy. I guess I can't. Okay. I want to just copy over the numbers from here. The way to do it would be this, I guess. Copy down to 0. Copy you down to 0. Alcohol we'll want... Maybe we don't want alcohol down here, actually. We can establish a pub eventually, but for the time being, we're okay. Food was at 32% there. It can be, sure, at 16% here. Clothes at 5 or 7. Yeah, that's fine. Electronic components, no thank you. Mechanical components, it's only up over here to maintain some of the other numbers. Electronics needs to be brought down. And sure, mechanical components can be brought up. Yeah, I think that's good enough. That'll do the trick. 5 tons of electronics is a lot. That's going to cost us an arm and a leg. About 2 tons. About 10 tons of clothes. That's way too much. Sure, I'll take the 5 tons. Using this as a rough estimate of what's actually sustainable, basically. And hopefully this will be okay. Right. So, this distribution office... Sorry. Why have I paused it? I'm trying to break that habit. And I managed to break it for the longest time, but it keeps coming back every once in a while. But you've been assigned to get food, clothes, and electronics down over there. Meat, again, is coming from elsewhere, so that's all well and good. And we're trying to maintain 30% at this warehouse. And then this shopping center will automatically pull from this warehouse and from the meat storage up over here as necessary. On which note, though, I should get rid of this assignment and swap it over. So you, buddy, are no longer sending to the small shopping center. Instead, you're sending to here. Unloading meat, 30% is a lot. So we're going to lower that number. Because we can't afford that much meat at a time. That's a lot. Pop you down to like 10%. That'll do the trick for now. That'll more than do the trick for now, my goodness. And that should be a sustainable shopping center down over here. Lots of people coming down to sell, very few people coming down to buy. Don't worry, we're going to actually split these guys up. Just for the time being, I wanted to make sure that I had that assigned right away. I could get some people working at the technical university as well. Some people working at the court there. And I don't think I'll send anyone up to the bus stop or anything from down over here. Let's try and create a bit of an isolated, I guess, community. This bus stop is not taking on any passengers or anything just quite yet, and that's exactly how I want it, because eventually we'll plan our lines and stuff like that, maybe later this session. But maybe I won't rely on this until some of these other buildings are built as well. And we should be making progress in that general direction. Works or mechanisms. Maybe it's time for another bus. Because again, that's what feels like it's constantly lacking. I mean, what I could do is I could send people from up there to this bus stop and use this as a source of local workers. That's an option. Might not be a terrible option, actually. Let's try it. Let's try it. It'll speed up the process, but the downside is if there isn't enough people there, then a lot of buses won't go to pick people up. Whereas at the large customs house, we what was that, like 60 plus people waiting to get picked up? Versus, well, 0 right now because I haven't checked this box. Let's see. Let's keep an eye on the numbers over here before we commit to the change. Because again, it could be a very expensive change in the sense that everything comes to a standstill. That is suboptimal. Gonna go ahead and make sure that this thing is being built. It is not, because why? Why can't I assign a construction office? There's definitely connections. Hey, what if I try... Oh, right. There you go. Assign construction. No path to that construction. Okay, let's revisit that real quick. These footpaths are all asphalt, right? Yeah. I believe so. So let's go ahead and get an asphalt with lamps down over here like so. Commission that construction. There we go. Okay, not sure what that was about, but I'm glad I checked, glad I clocked it, because that'll help take care of some of the garbage stuff. I just saw the garbage truck come through and pick up garbage individually, and I'm sure it's doing stuff over here as well, wasting time. I wish I could see the reach garbage containers before they got built, like fully constructed, but unfortunately that is a non-option. It is what it is. You're waiting to build this so we can get the basketball and volleyball court, and I need the kindergarten up here as well, sooner rather than later, preferably. All right, progress. Take a look at the situation down over here. Like 6 workers. What are we going to do with 6 workers? What are they going to build? And sure, maybe my timing there was off, but even if it was like 19 workers, 20 workers, like what are they going to do compared to the 50, 60 that we can bring in from the borders? So I think for the time being, we'll keep relying on those guys. And I think once we hit 50k, I'll go ahead and pull the truck here off the line. How are we doing over here? Pretty good. Workers coming through in droves. Yeah, basically staying at maximum, just shy of maximum efficiency, even when we have a good set of deliveries of workers, I guess. But again, don't forget that a lot of the production percentage is being hit by low loyalty and stuff like that, which again, we are working on. Take a quick look over here. We're currently researching nothing, right? Because we've done all the research we need to do at the headquarters. Down over here, we're working on radio signal broadcasting. Slow progress, but progress nonetheless. Eventually, we'll need to build our station, if I can find it. Gotta actually research the radio signal broadcasting before I can see what it'll cost us. It's an expensive building. It's a massive building, so it's going to be expensive, but a worthwhile expense. It'll help us tackle this issue that's been following us for so very long. Hey, financially, we're looking good, though, so that's good. I don't have to worry as much about that. And down over here, we're making some good progress. What are you waiting for? You're waiting for some asphalt. Down over here, this section's been completed. Excellent. So yeah, we'll finish for this to... We'll wait for this to get done, sorry. This bit needs upgrading as well. And then we can do the other section afterwards, so that buses will always have access to the station here. It'll slow things down temporarily unless I build connection elsewhere, because they'll be done there. They'll come here and they'll leave and then go all the way up and around to come back to this bus stop as opposed to cutting through. So I'll need to build like a temporary bypass. I'll do it once this is completed. Yeah, fair enough. So I just have to think about that. Again, I'm very nervous about cutting off access accidentally. Up over here, are we seeing any progress? No assigned construction offices? Why not? Go for it, buddies. Get that work done. And just considering our progress over here. Yeah, seeing a little bit. Workers coming through from time to time. This demolition is done, which means this bus can now be reassigned, sorry. I say can be pulled back to the construction office. Let's go ahead and do that. Buddy, are you repairing all the vehicles you can repair? So I feel like we can probably repair more. Maybe I'm missing a trick here. Like, do I want one of these vehicles to go out there and do work. Because we have slots for vehicles, and these aren't the ones that are being repaired. These are the ones that are being repaired. I'm hesitant to spend... Well, I guess if I get one of these, I'll use it somewhere else anyway. Only 7,000. Do I need such a giant covered hull vehicle, though? The SKD 706 is what we were using before. 10 tons of crops versus... No, that's all the same. The numbers are all the same. As far as what I can carry, with the maximum speed is a lot higher on this new one. And it's cheaper, too. Slightly worse engine power. Let's buy one. What's the worst that could happen? Taking a chance there. Enjoying the sounds and sights of watching this vehicle arrive slowly. So what do you actually do? Yeah, you carry service material over. Okay, perfect. This is how we get the distant repairs done. I knew I was missing a trick. I was like, I expanded the radius of it working, and I'm sure many of you were in the comments going, Party. Party? What are you doing, buddy? Need some vehicles. But it's okay, because at that time, we probably couldn't have afforded it anyway. So, nothing lost. But yeah, Buddy should make his way over here shortly. Deliver quite a few tons of service material. And then that should allow some of these vehicles to get repaired. Like this one's at 51% wear and tear, so you're going to come through and drop materials off. No, you're going to work. Down to 49%. 48%. Gotcha. Okay. Cool. So maybe it is better to have these be smaller vehicles so they're not sitting around for prolonged periods of time. That aside, they're faster vehicles, so I could use them elsewhere, probably to much better effect. But that is good to know. I'm glad I investigated that, because we'll want to look into that a bit more. There's quite a few vehicles that are still quite worn down, and they're just waiting at distant depots. Like these guys, you know, they could use some love. These guys could probably use some love as well, so it's good to know that that's how that system works. All right, this road has been completed. We're working on this section before we rush to anything else. Workers and resources both en route. Yes, excellent. So I can't cancel this just quite yet. This over here is waiting for some workers, I guess, because the asphalt is already here. Yeah, just waiting for some workers. Oh man, I cannot wait to have a reliable local source of workers. Why is this down to 62%? Unable to visit a hospital, eh? Let's go ahead and resume this construction over here. 22 tons of steel. It'll be expensive. Rather, 21 tons, I should say. It'll be expensive, but we need it. Not a lot of possible doctors in the neighborhood, but I don't know how to play this balancing act over here. We're gonna have to build this soon as well. I think there's a higher priority. We'll need this building very soon, actually. Because, yeah, this is almost topped up. And the downside of having the street lamps and stuff is just the extra time it takes. I cannot wait for the trash to all be picked up in one spot either. Little things, the little pleasures in life, I suppose. Alright. Yeah, just waiting for the last delivery of resources. This is being upgraded as well, which was probably actually an accident, but that's fine. And we just barely were unable to complete this construction over here. Love it. Just barely. Up over here. Yeah, I said I was going to wait until 50k, but I slowly grow more impatient. But things, I mean, look at that. We're actually hitting, momentarily, sure, but we're actually hitting max capacity from time to time, which is good. Just a matter of improving their productivity through, again, higher loyalty, higher happiness, all that good stuff that will take a bit more time and effort to actually accomplish. But we're working on it. Good stuff. What's the deal down over here? We've got plenty of food, plenty of electronics. Have not yet delivered clothes down here, but we've got enough to last us a fair bit of time. We've got meat as well. Good stuff. I'm wondering if I just pick up some clothes and drop them off manually. Ooh, actually, we don't have a lot of clothes here either. You know what? We cannot wait until the 50k mark. Because I need the distribution office to start operating like a distribution office again. So you're good. Send you over here, bud. And let's hope that production happens at a decent enough rate such that we get trade continuing at the same time as, yes, the distribution of goods locally too. I don't want to end up in that same position as we were in, what, 4 or 5 episodes ago now. That was not a good spot. That was not a good spot. Just want to check as well on the water situation over here. Yeah, this is looking pretty good. A lot more comfortable. These guys aren't like going thirsty or anything either, so that's good. Unable to visit a pub or tavern, that's okay. We'll wean them off of alcohol, I suppose. If they really wanted alcohol, they could go up to the pub there. And again, that's where you introduce like buses that bring people from down here to up there, and you allow passengers to actually ride on them, and they'll fulfill their needs via transit. They absolutely will. It's the unable to visit a hospital that's an actual concern, though, right? Trying to be wary of how quickly we let the economy drain. There's a bunch of other smaller constructions that are ongoing that will slowly chip away at our resources as well. We only have 2 tons right now. That should be okay. Holy crap. If we just let the warehouse sit in peace, it actually accumulates clothes quite quickly. That's not bad. That's not bad, man. Alright, cool. What are some of these guys up to right now, actually? Bringing in alcohol. Albalutakia. You're bringing in crops, okay. And you are moving clothes around. Down to the road cargo station. Okay, that's exactly right. The prison, meanwhile, has food, has clothes, and has meat. Should be okay. Should be able to sustain our prison population for the time being, so that's good. And what's the deal with our police officers? That percentage has gotten better. The number is still huge, but the percentage has gotten better, which means that between the last time we checked and now, there have been more crimes, and by and large, most of them have been solved. I believe the percentage is better, at least, if memory serves. We'll see. We'll see. Alright, cool. Good stuff. Up over here, people are able to get their sport in. That's great. Okay, this is almost done. That's good, because then we can work on this building. Make room for more people to move to. And then we don't have to rush this one, obviously. This can stay suspended, actually. Let's suspend you. Let's not finish that. Alright, this is done. So construction over here has begun. We're not going to get citizens, and a bunch of vehicles are bringing resources over. Okay, excellent. This will hopefully be done soon as well. Waiting on gravel. See, that's the thing. It's like, it's not like we're just waiting on people, in which case I'd get the other bus that I keep talking about. But it is from time to time we're waiting on a dumper to be free because it's stuck pouring asphalt. The real downside to the asphalt constructions. Oh my, I wish I could clean it up. I can't. No point looking at it. But I wish I could. Right down over here. 12 tons of meat. Almost 5 tons of clothes. 12 tons of food. 2 tons of electronics. So this shopping center is now fully operational. It should have access to everything it needs for a very long period of time. Hopefully. The hospital's next. An alright complex. I can't wait to get the cultural stuff up as well, but that's obviously not a top priority. Soon enough. We're seeing progress on the construction over there in the distance. That's good. We're seeing lots of folks coming through over here. Lots of sellers. Very few shoppers. But that's okay. Over-dedicated this building over there maybe, but that's fine. 22 citizens unable to enjoy culture. Let's go ahead and build the amphitheater as soon as it's ready to go, because this needs very little steel, and it's able to, again, handle as many people as a full-on theater. So sure, continue construction as soon as it's possible. Fair enough. Every time I see the garbage truck come around like this, I just think about how this is not built yet. Soon enough. Up over here, yeah, resources coming through. It'll take a bit of time, but we're getting there. And when we're not regularly exporting clothes, we get the reality of our situation smack in our face. Bit of an unfair characterization for sure, but fuel continues to be extremely expensive. I cannot wait to get the fuel refineries up and running. The oil refinery, I should say. That's going to save us so much money. And part of me wonders if that shouldn't be our next big investment. But first, let's turn our attention back over here, because surely this is done, and it's actually not. It might almost be done, though this looks like asphalt coming through. And workers coming... No. Workers coming through at the same time. How would I be so lucky? This is workers coming through. Okay. Still trying to figure out if I should bring workers from this bus platform instead. Again, it diverts people from what generates our wealth, right? So can't be too gung-ho about that. And if this continues to drop, if this crosses the 20k threshold, I might go ahead and bring that truck back to its regular operations. Unloading at this warehouse, eh? Yeah, I guess we need it. I guess we need it, fair enough. And then hopefully the next round is an export round. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't nervous. Couple months in the red. But that's okay, again, it's because we are focusing on distributing some resources that are particularly expensive, but not only necessary, they also last a very long time period, right? So it's okay. Okay, we're fine. Hopefully we're not seeing too many people complaining about access to clothes or food or electronics or anything like that. No, none of that. Bit of complaints about access to alcohol. Hopefully not the kind of thing that's going to make people leave the country. Unable to practice sports is still up there, eh? Still up there. I thought things would improve significantly once this thing was up and running, but that doesn't seem to be the case. What's probably happening is these guys up over here are just not able to provide coverage for these guys. I wonder if I can't fit one of those larger buildings that, like, I say larger, but I mean like that's able to sustain more workers and hence provide for more visitors. Can't pop one of those up over here somewhere, you know? Basketball and volleyball court in the middle of nowhere. Or something behind these, like, houses, maybe. Can't build you to infrastructure. Why? Like, I could pop this down here. It'll cover quite a few folks, actually. And what am I doing with this anyway, right? Am I going to have a road over here? Or Probably not. If I do, I might, like, you know, pull this out this way and then it'll go up over here for some reason. In which case, we can have a whole sports area back over here. I'm not going to put down, like, a stadium. Oh, actually, hang on. Yeah, it's too big. It's way too big. So, yeah, okay, maybe we put some courts back here behind some of these old houses and make a nice... We could make a nice community space back over here, actually, now that I think about it. Sure. Here, you'll actually fit snugly like this. So why don't we go ahead and pop... Oh, wow, you'll get real snug. Pop you down like so. Construction offices will take some time to get to it, but fine. Not a high priority, but hopefully it helps solve... Look at that. 72 times multiplier. Continues to escalate, and now we have somebody starving. We got food here. We've got cellars here. We've got food here. We've got cellars here. I mean, the only thing I can imagine is that somebody went over here and cellars left exactly as they arrived. We're seeing it happen every once in a while. Right. Again, makes me wonder if I shouldn't specify... Here, something like that. Because this basically needs to stay topped up at all times. Failing that, we're going to see things like starvation. So hopefully that helps. Cops just pick someone up, eh? Man, this percentage continues to shrink. That's good. That's really promising. And this has been completed, so that's nice too. Let's go ahead and... trying to figure out where I'd want to connect. Because if I'm going to upgrade this section here, I'm going to lose this connection. I'm going to lose the connection to the bus. I could pull from down over here. Temporarily, of course. Something's in the way. Oh, don't actually be in the way here. Don't actually block. Okay, just gotta get rid of the snapping. That's fine. And again, this isn't a permanent road. That's not the plan for this. It's just temporary. I'm trying to figure out which way it'll go. Like this. Come on. Okay. And then like this. So again, this again just becomes the way to get onto this main road to get up to the bus station there. While we upgrade, now with streetlights and sidewalks, this. While we're doing that, people will still have access from these sidewalks, so hopefully that's not going to cause us any trouble. I'm a little worried about the police station being able to send cars out. Okay, we'll have to do this piecemeal. Streetlights and sidewalks. Here. And here at the same time. Sorry, the hesitation is me being a little uncertain as to what extents I can cover without breaking connections. Essential connections. These guys are currently gonna have to use the gravel road. Let's go ahead and... Can't extend from here because... Oh, there we go. Again, just for the time being, creating these bypasses so that the distribution office as well can use primarily the asphalt road and not the gravel road. What are you doing, buddy? Dropping off food? Okay, good. I guess we did a bit of an export there because we're up to 30k now. I guess the easiest way to find out is to go into our exports and see, yes, 15,000 rubles worth of clothes. just got exported. Beautiful. Need more of that to happen more frequently. But that's good, that's good. Again, like I said, it means we've met the needs of our people, and now we can focus on producing to export. And I can, yes, sustain another clothing factory with a single fabric factory. Can I fit it here? That's a whole other question. And maybe with a bit of flattening, I absolutely can. Actually, hang on. Oh, there is a third factory connection over here. So I could put another clothing factory over here, potentially. But we don't have enough workers to actually sustain 2 clothing factories, let alone a full fabric factory, right? We're already struggling on that front, so let's not get too cocky with regards to what we can maybe be able to do when the 70s come around. But geez, we're not that far away from the 70s, actually. Kind of a crazy thought. Kind of a crazy thought. Pretty pleased with how far we've come in a decade, actually. Like, considering the hardships we've had to push through, we've come quite far. Quite far. This pump jack question remains eternal. Because it's not that expensive either to put down pump jacks. Let's see. 6 tons of steel. 1 ton of mechanical components. Those are the most expensive aspects. So yeah, maybe when this hits like 40 again, we put down another pump jack. And add to our steady income through oil. 10k this month. 10k last month. 10k the month before. I'm rounding up a bit too gratuitously. I should be saying 9. It is more reliably 9. Which isn't bad. It's not bad. Now how's the... Alright, you're just sitting there. That means you must have taken care of everything there is to take care of, I guess. Let me take a look at our list of vehicles. Go by wear and tear. I mean, some of these guys aren't sitting still, so they're not getting a chance to get repaired. Fair enough, but hopefully more of our vehicles are at lower numbers now than they would be otherwise. Without this assignment, I mean. Very well. Okay, cool. I'm just glad to see this operational, like properly operational. I wonder if I clean this up now and do a bit of planning over here. Probably not a bad idea. All right. Let's get to work. First things first. Gotta get rid of some of these road connections. Because we need to clean it up. It's not going to want me to break from that, unfortunately. Too steep of an incline. Let's go ahead and flatten terrain here, height from center. Actually, let's flatten to that. There's a lot of things to flatten to, I guess. What are we prioritizing as the main structure around which to plan? Probably road connections. It's actually going to be kind of tough. Because this was never a clean connection. I don't know what let me put it down and keep it down, actually. Alright, if I can fix this too steep of a descent, I'll have a clean path there. Here, let's just smooth this out a little bit. And that'll make this acceptable, I think. Still too steep over here. Oh. Nah, that's not real. Don't fall for that. That ain't real. That's real. Okay, cool. Sometimes putting the road down does a slight bit of terraforming. That'll do the trick. So this can come over to here. And then, like, hook up like that. I'll eventually want this to be upgraded as well, but first I want to make sure I'm able to fit everything else that I want to fit over here. Otherwise, I'm just wasting resources. Go ahead and hook you up as well, because we'll need this connection. And this feels a lot better, because we're not wasting as much space. So, what are we actually going to do over here? Good question. I had the answer to that question, and I think I still do. Right now, we've got gravel. We have a lot of gravel, holy crap. That gravel can be used for other construction material. Construction material that we're currently importing and wasting our money on. It's chip damage to our economy, right? It's like, is it really that expensive to produce or to get, I don't know, what else are we? Yeah, concrete, I guess. I think concrete's something that we can actually, well, yeah, we should be able to make concrete. We'll need to get water. We'll purchase cement. We should be cheaper. Hang on, let's just make sure here. Might be marginal, but concrete is 20 rubles a ton versus cement, which is significantly more expensive. Okay. But the concrete plant takes 30 tons of cement and produces, alongside 135 tons of gravel, 175 tons of concrete. So that is a nearly 6-to-1 ratio, let's call it. So 6 times, where'd concrete go? 21 is 120, well, 126, I guess, versus the 35 to the single ton of cement. It's a worthwhile ratio. Trying to figure out if this investment is worth it. Now, building the concrete plant itself is going to be extremely expensive, but all I will do for now is plan. So the concrete plant, the cement plant, we would also be able to do, actually. So then we don't even have to worry about importing cement. It would just be coal, and we already have access to coal. I don't think we'd be able to build a conveyor system to bring it over, because this is a very hot mess of a situation as far as the industrial sector is concerned. But we can truck it over, and that's fine by me. Cement plant is fairly large, though. Yeah, it's too big. Oh, and that one's even bigger. All right, so that's a non-option. Eventually, I don't want to get too close to the residential areas with the industrial stuff. Wow, that big, eh? Then the question becomes, is there a modded one that's smaller, but suitably smaller? You know, like it also has suitably reduced output. Because then I'd look at that. And y'all let me know in the comments what you think. If you know of one, point me to it. But otherwise, I would really like to have the cement plant in place as well, because the concrete plant is small. The concrete plant is tiny. What would we do? We'd like pop it down like what? Well, first of all, I don't need this footpath anymore, because this footpath was going to connect to the underground connection that came from up there. So let's get rid of this footpath. All the way up to there. Don't need it. And that should give us just enough space to maybe squeeze this thing in, hopefully. Concrete plant. You know it. Cool. So again, not in a rush to build any of this stuff because it's going to be extremely expensive, but I can plan. If I flatten the terrain here, I will get a direct connection. Bring in the gravel. Water. Where's the water connection? Oh yeah, I can see the pipes. They bring the water in from up over here, I suppose. But we have this connection. I can get another switch and distribute it accordingly. But sure, so that's an option. Put you down a bit. Pop you down. Suspend all of these before we invest heavily in, again, some pretty expensive stuff. So that is the concrete plant. We could build, if I look at storage, should be over here, I think. No, you don't have like dry goods storage over here? Okay. Dry bulk cargo, there we go. Cement silo. Don't think we need 1,400 tons. This is a nice small one. Yeah, I knew there was a small one. There are these options as well. Also small. Now, which one do we build? So this one takes 47 tons of steel. This one takes 40 tons. What's the difference here? And actually, you know what I didn't check? If this has all the connections it needs. Power, yes, okay. Water, yes. Sewage, yes. Okay, cool. Just wanted to make sure. Yeah, what is the difference between those two options? This guy here, 1301, 238, 2347. This guy needs asphalt, mechanical components, stores a bit less, power consumption is a bit higher. I'm guessing it just moves goods faster and has more room for vehicle loading and unloading. I'm guessing those are the big ones. So I could plant this one down instead, I could plant this one down instead. Either way works, they both fit nicely. But what I would probably want to do is... God, it really depends on if I can find a smaller cement plant, eh? Because then I could fit it over... If I could get a cement plant up over here, right? Pulling in the gravel, pulling in coal, pushing the cement out to the silo over here, and then sending the cement to be turned into concrete right over here. That would be beautiful. That would be wonderful. What else do we have? The asphalt plant. This thing will need bitumen. I could import bitumen, right? So what is it? 20 tons of bitumen would produce 7 times as much asphalt. So if we take a look at our screen here. Bitumen, where you at, buddy? 192. Make about 210, 230 worth. The thing about asphalt, though, is I believe it cannot be stored, right? Like, it has to be picked up. Like, you produce it in small quantities, it gets picked up, and then you produce the next quantity, it gets picked up. So you kind of have to have, like, a train of dump trucks coming to pick up the asphalt, if memory serves me correctly. I'm trying to remember... There was like an alternative to that, but I don't think there was. Explosives factory is pretty... Oh, it's big. I was like, I could just produce explosives with some chemicals, some gravel, and some wood. That's actually pretty cheap, but no. Alright, so I think part of this will rely on me finding maybe a modded cement plant. I don't think... These are all mods that I have from so very long ago. I don't think... I have one. One might not exist. Again, if you guys know one to recommend, please do. But if, let's say, hypothetically, I get the cement plant that fits in there, I would then be able to make the... Oh, hey, these are modded concrete plants, I guess. Gotta be a modded cement plant out there. These ones don't need water. And I don't like that compromise. That feels like a pretty important game-changing element that I'd be shortcutting past by using those mods, so I'm not going to. But, sorry, I digress. I apologize, I spent so much time over here trying to logic this out. Where the hell did my silo go? Yeah, I'm aware that really slowed down, but there's an important one. So if we do this... We'll be able to pop this down. I'm trying to figure out exactly how I'd want to do it. Like this, let's say. Right? Go ahead and suspend you, go ahead and suspend you. And then in theory, we'd be able to move the cement from up there to down there. Alright, I mean, that's all I can do now, unless I want to go digging for mods, which I'll do between sessions, I suppose. Gravel, coal, power. Again, coal we won't be able to pull down from up over here. Too much of a hot mess of conveyor belts, I think, but we would be able to truck it down. And that would make a pretty big difference. Not just in, like, the time it takes, but in the... Sorry, not just in the cost of those resources, but also in the time it takes. The concrete plant. If we get the dry bulk storage Loading and unloading. How big is that? Fairly large, actually. Trying to figure out, like, we have some wiggle room here. This would make it easier to load up our trucks. It's not that expensive. 20 tons of steel. Actually, that is kind of pricey. Nudge these guys over a little bit, but these are micro adjustments I can make later. Something to think about. Gonna pop you down over here as a reminder, maybe. Because otherwise I'm likely to completely forget about this and not make the adjustment. But yeah, we should be able to nudge these things over a little bit. Fit that in here, get the connection up over there. We'll work on this some more. But I gotta look for some mods. Meanwhile, down over here, this has been completed. No one lives here. That's fine, because they're just about to start moving in. We can turn our attention now to the hospital. Go ahead and continue construction. Bring those 21 tons of steel in and make me bankrupt, baby. But let's give our people what they need. 41 times unable to practice sports. Cool. The hospital thing is also still an issue. Took me a second to find it, but there it is. We're down to 61% happiness. Don't love it. But hey, this is up and running. At least no one's starving or looking for water or something like that, you know, so that's good. But yeah, I'm really hoping that this provides some solace to the people, and then I'm hoping that the amphitheater gets built soon. Waiting for gravel. What are these guys busy with that I haven't had a small shipment of gravel arrive here? 0.13 tons, that's all I need. It's fine. It's fine. We're okay. We're okay, folks. We're okay. The school here is at least seeing some progress. That's good because we are going to need it. Gotta keep education up. And these guys have a few different complaints. Can't get meat. I wonder if that was because of a lack of sellers over here at the time. Because there's plenty of meat available at the storage, that's for sure. Okay, I'm glad everything over here didn't collapse while we were busy trying to figure some of this stuff out. Hoping to figure some of this stuff out. And up over here, clothes are coming through at an okay rate. Okay, good. I was like, one of these trucks better have clothes because otherwise this thing's at 0 and that makes me nervous. But no, we're good. Okay, perfect. Up over here, we've seen progress. This is almost done. Again, I guess that's where the dumpers were stuck and that's why gravel wasn't coming through. The asphalt roads, man. That's the true cost of the asphalt road. The vehicles it distracts during construction. And I really hope I didn't have plans to make adjustments over here because I've committed now. I've committed now. This last bit is going to take some time. And hopefully no one's going to lose, like, these guys up over here. They should be able to use a sidewalk as well, hopefully. Yeah, they should be able to. What about you guys up over here? Closer call there, but I think they'll be fine. Alright, very well. Down over here. Still haven't completed this, eh? I mean, hell, this only just got its gravel shipment, so how could I expect this to be completed? But we're getting there. We're getting there. It's just cool to see the expansion over here happen. The hospital in the distance, too. Financially looking okay despite this construction happening. That's probably because we didn't just import a bunch of steel. I'm sure it'll trigger any moment now and we'll be brought to our knees. Taking a look around to make sure everything's fine otherwise. What about the water situation up over here? Yeah, okay. Alright, feels okay. The starving, not so much. I wish you would tell me exactly where that's happening. And I guess obfuscation is part of the point. Quite a few people now unable to work because of lack of kindergarten. 13 workers is no joke in a building of 105. Gotta rush some of these things. Gotta hold off on building roads, I guess, so that these dump trucks don't get distracted. I mean, geez, maybe I just buy more dump trucks at this point. Do we have a spare one somewhere? No, but we do have this thing completed. So, let's go ahead and move all of these vehicles over. And we can get rid of the demolition office. First, copy its sources over to here. So that we're not wondering why things aren't being dumped and so on and so forth. And eventually we'll add more vehicles to this thing, like its own dedicated bus. But for the time being, we can go ahead and get rid of this demolition office. That feels fantastic. We can go ahead and clean up the connection over here as well. That also feels fantastic. And we can actually take a look at a proper gas station over here, potentially. But first, there's other stuff to investigate in this strip, right? The distribution offices and stuff like that that I was talking about. Plenty more to do. But a proper gas station would be nice. One that can service multiple vehicles at a time and not cause a backup of vehicles in this area. My goodness. Crazy talk. In fact, let's take a look. Gas station. Oh, you would fit. You would fit. Alright, something to think about. Something to think about. This place is getting a bit of a revamp. It's nice to see the demolition office completed. And it's nice to see that we haven't completely destroyed our chances at a glorious future because of some small hiccups over the last handful of years. Yeah, it feels pretty good. Feels pretty good to not have to abandon our slowly growing nation. Watching the people in the distance scurry over. I mean, you know, I feel like I'm not celebrating the fact that this is up and running enough. This thing was planned, what, like 6, 7 sessions ago? 8 sessions ago now? Maybe even more. And it's all operational. Again, we've intentionally skipped the train station. This is all up and running. Hell yeah. This is really worth celebrating more. The fully operational battle station over here. Fully operational construction and demolition station. Whatever you want to call it. It's fully operational. And I like that. Look at that. Look at these guys making their way out. That's cool, man. There are few things that are nearly as satisfying. And few things that are nearly as dissatisfying as spotting something like this to a recent construction. I probably could have cleaned that up. But instead, I'll just never look at it from that angle ever again. Alright, this is almost done. And then we can go ahead and continue up this way because the police will be able to navigate these mean streets this way. I just don't want to cut them off. And so far this year, we have no unexamined criminal cases. On that high note, folks, I think we call it a session. Hope you enjoyed this one. As always, if you did, you know what to do. Let me know by leaving a like and a comment down below. Makes a massive difference in letting me know what people are enjoying on the channel, letting me know what I should do more or less of, and how I should go about doing it. Hopefully, at this point in time, I'll be able to catch up to comments and apply some of those going forward. I've been reading them as they've been coming through, but I feel like this is the marathon recording sessions coming to a close. Hope you don't mind the decision to take it this way or to do it this way. I wanted to make up for the lost time and ensure that nothing got in the way of this long run of episodes. But yes, now I'll have the time and I'll take the time to collate all of your comments, all of your thoughts, to lament all of the ones that would have helped me sooner than I helped myself coming up with solutions, but celebrate the ones that continue to provide me assistance. I kid, obviously. Even if some of these comments have come in too late for me to act on, I do appreciate them. They just help me make decisions for the future of our nation. Because again, this is just one corner, folks. This is just one corner. We're going to build a massive, glorious republic. But all that and more. Well, not next time, but you know, next time and beyond. As always, a massive thanks goes out to all of the channel members and patrons who've been supporting the channel on a monthly basis. That'll keep us alive and running smoothly. And of course, a big ol' thanks goes out to each and every one of you for watching. Until next time, cheers.